What's up, everybody, and welcome to Founders Connect. This is our new session of The Big Stories. My name is Omar Tom, commonly known as OT. I am the co-founder and CEO at the Can Media, and I'm excited for today's session with none other than Rayyan Hassan from Keno Car Wash. A little bit of an anecdote before we get this one started. So back in the day, I bought my first car. The year was 2011. Like, this was my first car cash out, right? And I bought an Infiniti G37 that I was super excited about. And I was one of those guys that would do like weekly grooming sessions for my car. I'll get it to the car wash. I'll give it the whole, fancy treatment every week. And back in the day in Sharjah, there used to be these car washes in Sharjah industrial area, right? And what was funny about these car washes was that for a very low rate, you'll come in and they will give you the best, hands down, the best car wash experience you could ever go through. The inside, the outside, the bottom, they clean up your engine, the whole 9 yards, right? And the frustration was that I always had to go to this one very specific place. Now, if it's the night before Eid, you're kind of screwed. So then,
Yes.
then out of nowhere comes these guys known as Keno Car Wash. And I was probably one of the early users of this app, and I've had probably by far some of the best car washes after my favorite car wash in Sharjah. Since I moved to Dubai, I haven't been to these guys for years, right? So anyway, today we've got Rayyan Hassan, who's probably I'm probably somewhere on his database as one of his early customers, and today he's going to be sharing amazing stories with us about his journey, his experience, how he got to where he got to, and what is he up to today. So without further ado, Rayyan, how's it going, my guy? Good to have you.
I'm very good. Good to be here. Thank you so much. I'm really excited. I hope this will be useful for everyone and enjoyable
No,
as well.
definitely. And so here's the thing. With big stories, we like to look at the backstory, the history, the experience, what brought you here, how did you get to where you are today? So let's start at the beginning. Tell us a little bit more about you, everything before you got into this space and before you got into this kind of business.
Sure. I think just like, to start with, I'm born and raised here. I've completed my education, both bachelor's degrees and master's degrees in Dubai or in UAE. My bachelor's was civil engineering in American University of Sharjah, and I did master's in construction law and dispute resolution at King's College. It was here in Dubai. The program was conducted in Dubai. Again, born and raised, lived most of my life in Sharjah, so
there we go.
represent. Yani, I love Sharjah.
So
I've worked in engineering for like 8 years.
wait, so
you want to say
you're a
something?
civil engineer for 8 years.
Yes.
How does that
I was a
translate?
civil engineer for 8 years.
Okay, well, we'll get to this because now I'm curious. Obviously, how does that translate to where you got to today? But okay, cool. So, civil engineer,
Sure.
you've been doing this for 8 years, and
Yeah.
did you like it?
I obviously didn't. Hence, I changed. Yani, engineering is nice. However, as an employee, it's not really easy to climb that ladder. It's a hectic job, especially in countries such as UAE where it's hot. You don't get to enjoy AC for like a year or a year and a half until all the fit outs are done. Depends on the scale of the project. But I've learned a lot. I've learned discipline from engineering because you have to show up every day. You can't miss a single update. Otherwise, you could face later delays that you can't anticipate. So, but I did not feel satisfied because I felt like I was only learning about that site, about the material of that site specifically, about the timeline of that project specifically. So I didn't get to know anything about marketing, finance, HR related activities, none of that, because you're there, you have a set of like tasks to complete and
so
repeat.
you were not a jack of all trades. You were a master of one single thing, which is engineering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Um,
in a
yeah,
simplest form.
I would
Okay,
say
cool.
so.
So let's move a little forward in time. So you've been doing this for 8 years. How did you get involved with Keno Car Wash? Like, where were you one of the guys that started it? What happened there?
It was 2016 when I was at site in Al Wasl. Um, I would use your introduction to also say that, like, I still remember my first car, my second
Yeah.
car, what rims I had added on it. Sometimes the muffler without the
Yo.
whole exhaust, depends on what you could
Yeah.
afford back in the
Been
days.
there.
So I'm really passionate about cars. I love cars and I love cleaning my car. So I would say a story, and I'm sure you and many others would also resonate with, is I would do 70% of the job, and then I'll ask the staff at the car wash station to do the rest. I always have my towel. I'm trying to clean in between the headlight and the front
Oh
hood,
yeah.
trying to clean all the things and the rims. So it was a pain that I personally felt, or it was an experience that I personally felt could hold a lot of
Mm.
improvement within it. Keno was not started by me specifically. It was started by the co-founder. His name is Kinan. He started it in 2016, and I joined after almost 9 months. So it's a very nice story. I was on site. I remembered after like 7 months or 9 months of my ex-partner starting this car wash app. I requested it to site. They came, they washed, and I was extremely happy. Like, yes, I was there under the sun watching them watching what they're doing, but I didn't really have to interfere much. Then I called my friend and I like said, "Wow, this is amazing," and he said, "Well, it's not working. Uh, like I think it's amazing too, but we are not getting where we want to get." Um the issue was introducing the idea that you could get your car washed at your doorstep. Now it feels
Mm.
normal to do that, but back in 2016, this wasn't really
Yeah.
the case. People would always think of a car wash as an offline station or a gas station where you have to go and wash your car there and then come back. But to have it come to your place, it was
It was
not
unheard
the
of.
usual thing
Yeah.
to do.
I think
Yeah.
for me,
So
fascinating enough, like that experience started a lot later to get a car wash in my place, right? You had corporate spaces where they would have
mhm,
car wash staff, or like in the mall, for example, you have the car wash guys, or you
precisely.
have your own person in the area that you hire that comes and washes your car, right?
Yeah.
Like that you'll agree to like a
Exactly.
monthly payment with this guy, and he comes in and constantly washes it. Oh wait, somebody said they can't hear me. Ali, can you hear me? Okay, Rayyan? Am
I can hear
Okay,
you
cool.
perfectly.
Ali, in case you can't hear me, please do let me know. Uh, so yeah, so like as I was saying, so when it comes to car wash experiences, they were very specific business models that we were used to, right? They were sort of the when you think car wash, this is kind of what comes to mind, as you were saying, and it has a profound impact on us. A while back, I read something about the impact of getting for guys, the impact of getting a haircut or a car wash, right? It has a positive
Interesting.
psychological impact on men. It gives you a sense of newness and it gives you a sense of freshness in the sense of like it's almost equivalent to buying something new, right? That excitement, that dopamine hit of like, oh, you got this new thing, right? So
True.
in a
True.
lot of cases, getting a good car wash kind of feels the same. And to your point, in 2016, when I look back, I wasn't ordering, something like a Kino car wash or going on my phone to get something to my house. So it was very new, right? I think it was
True.
unheard of. It
True.
was a new model that you guys were introducing. So
Yeah. Yeah. People were
okay,
laughing at
great.
us.
So clearly there's an education
People were
factor.
laughing. What are you doing? Yes, education. This is, I think, many new startups that are doing something innovative will have to go
Mm,
through this. Is educating the market about the service. And making sure that it's a good replacement to what they have been used to doing for the past X
right.
number of years. For example, car wash, it has been the same business model forever and ever. You have to go to a place that has high pressure car, like high pressure water jet or whatever they call it to clean and. So coming in as a motorbike with sprayers and like with sprayers basically and towels did not convince too many people. But when we did our research, we managed to choose the right green chemicals, the right microfiber towels, the right approach, where to start to wash your car. Like there is a certain learning and certain steps that you need to follow in order to reach to what exactly you want, which
So
is a
question
clean
on that.
car.
Sorry to
Go ahead.
interrupt. I keep jumping in, but was it the
Don't worry.
was it was there more work being spent on understanding sort of the product service offerings in and of itself, as you're saying, like the right microfiber, the right chemicals, so on and so forth, or figuring out this business model? Because it feels like these are two big education challenges for yourself as somebody coming from an engineering background and stepping into this new business space.
Absolutely. There will always be learnings, there will always be changes, and that's probably why startups need to always think that they need to be agile and they need to learn
Mm.
quickly. For us, trying out chemicals and making sure that this is the right one took us about 2.5 years to 3 years. It wasn't overnight. It came after certain complaints. It came after certain positive insights from clients, and a lot of testing by hand. Like we used to test every product on our cars for some time, and you need to test it at 12 p.m. when it's way too hot and the car surface is probably 40 degrees to 60 degrees if you were
Mm.
in the summer. You need to test it on cars that are being washed outside or within a basement parking. There are so many things that you need to take into account. Even the color of the car plays a role
Wow.
on you choosing which microfiber towel you want to use last in order to finish. You don't want any streaks. I mean, and those details are the details that really put Keno as the leader of the
Got it.
space for a
Sure.
number of
So,
years.
and how did
And
you get
of course,
involved
I
with
think
them?
many
So,
people copied.
why an engineer? I guess is question one. Like, why did they go like, oh, Rayyan, you seem great. Come on and be a partner. You know, like, why did you get involved with Keno? How did you get involved?
Um, when I posted on Instagram, and I still have that post, I could share it with you. Like, guys, I was supporting my ex-partner, and I was telling my probably 2,000 followers, uh, guys, this is a new service. You have to try it. And I asked him, like, what are the main points that you want to deliver? So he mentioned that it comes to your place. You can download this app. For example, it's environmental friendly. It saves water, etc., etc. So I wrote those key points within my caption. And honestly, many people uh, behaved positively, downloaded the app, and started ordering. So the second call from my ex-partner is, what are you doing? I've been busy for the past week. So he said, let's meet. I went and I met him, and we were buddies back in university time. So it wasn't like me meeting a stranger. But it started with me wanting to help Kinan to thrive in his business. Uh, and apparently I did something that he or the team could not reach in 9 months. So we agreed I will join. He asked me, do you want to join? But I can't pay any salaries
Mm,
at the moment. It took me 3 seconds to say, of course I'll
okay.
join. Why? Because it's cars. Why? Because personally I like risk taking. I don't like to be following what everyone else is doing. Sometimes this is good, other times it's not. But for me, I think I made the right
Sure.
decision because it had been the best learning
And I'm guessing you
experience
kept.
I've ever
I'm
passed
guessing you
through in my
kept your
life.
job at the time to keep some sort of income, or okay.
Exactly. We agreed that fine, with this number of orders daily, it's
Mm.
manageable to be working. And honestly, I was also doing my master's degree
Wait,
back then.
mashallah.
Uh,
Well done. Well
yeah,
done.
yeah. It was really tough, but I think tough times create strong men, just like how they say, and I hope I fit that description. But yes, I did not leave my job. I wanted, of course, some income to be coming in, and I was doing that for almost a year and a
Okay.
half until the business started covering some of the costs. So we grew from probably 5 orders a week to, if you want the best timing was, for example, before Eid, to 420
Wow.
cars a day.
Okay, so how did you
From
guys
5 a
manage
week to
that? So
420
okay,
a
so
day.
let's go
Yeah.
to how did you guys deal with that? So you went from barely 5 orders, right, to making these numbers. Now, throughout this journey, there's a lot of, and this is an experience I'm sure a lot of founders deal with, is, I need to get as many signups, or I need to get as many potential people interested in my service or to buy my service, especially in the early days when you're trying to prove concept of some sort. How did you do that? How did you guys go about doing that?
In the beginning, like, if I remember correctly, it was always understanding the early adapters, who they are, what the personas are like, what they do, trying to find similarities. So we focused, for example, on gated
Mm,
communities. From an operation, like when I first joined, it was all of Dubai. So the driver was sometimes, for example, let's say you acquire someone in Data, and then you acquire someone in Barsha, and then
too far.
the
Wasted
waste
time.
of time. Exactly, it was an operational mistake. So first of all, what we did is we closed the zones. We made sure that we are focused on one or two areas at the very beginning because we were understaffed. We understood that gated communities, it was back then Mira, and Nashama,
Yeah.
if you know them, on Al Qudra Road, those were still a little bit far away from many of the developments. Mudun was not there. So many other developments were not there yet in 2016. So we focused there. It was nice. We had like 1,700 villas in one gated community, and operationally we were doing
Mm,
much better. I don't I wouldn't say marketing or digital marketing was any good at the beginning. It was mainly word of mouth and being available with communities, not only gated communities, but also we're talking about petrol head communities. So this is how we started um, growth hacking the
mm.
business. You go to car communities, to car meets, to car events. Those are the people that will give you the most uh, learning because they love their cars. And you're not talking about someone that, hey, I'm busy, I want to wash my car, I can wash it in the mall. No, those people don't wash their cars in the mall because they know that the microfiber towel is going to scratch the hell out of the
Mm.
car, for example. So we made sure that what are the weaknesses in the existing parking car wash, which were the malls, hospitals, and others, and we made sure that we covered
I
it,
like that. I like
and
that.
we did.
I mean, that's smart, right?
Yeah.
Going to the petrol heads, that there is there is an element of immediate feedback with these guys, right? Like they'll watch over
Yes.
what's happening. They're
Well
very
said. Yeah.
meticulous, and they're like, no, 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 you missed the spot. Come back to this, because they have this human-like personal relationship with their cars, which I think is smart. And the other thing that found really interesting, which this idea, if I would translate it into sort of just like business terms, I guess, is you guys really honed into a niche market, a very focused market of, let's not do the whole city, let's focus into one single spot, and then we expand slowly from there, right? So you kind of go
Yes.
from
Absolutely.
this, so you take one of those residential communities.
You're mute.
No, the guys were saying they were having some issues hearing me. Give me a second. I'm gonna stop recording for a second just to adjust my microphone.
Go ahead.
All right. So as I was saying, you guys have done two very great things here. Which the first was that you've really honed into the experts, right? You're like, you know what? Let's focus our market on motorheads, petrol heads. These are your flat 12 classic collectors. These are the people with supercars. These are the people that get super excited about whatever car they're driving, right?
Exactly.
Because personal, almost human-like relationship that have developed with the car. They give it a nickname. chances are for most guys it's a female, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they're the type of guys that be like, no, 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 you missed the spot here, or do this or do that, or because my paint is XYZ type, this is a better way to go about cleaning it. So there's an immediate feedback loop. So I think that was amazing. Even if you didn't make money, the knowledge bank you're acquiring and your staff is acquiring at that time is exponential,
You've summed
right?
it up in a very nice way. Yes, sir.
Thank you. And the second thing you went from is, okay, you guys, we were trying to target a huge market. Going from data to Barsha is a lot of time wasted that could have been utilized better. So, you know what? Let's focus on a much smaller subsect of the market. Go very, very niche. For example, a gated community, right? That will have 500, 1,000, 1,500 villas. And that is going to be our proven track record. We'll start with 1, 2, 3 villas, and then as word of mouth helps us expand, as you were saying, you guys did not lean on digital marketing or social media marketing. It was all about, let's get that entire neighborhood. If we hit all 500 villas, I could afford to hire 3, 4 more car wash guys. That way I could expand to another area and another area, so on and so forth. Is that
Exactly.
correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It was the best
So
learning when we were around the people that would really give you a lot of feedback.
great. So this was the first year and a half of you joining. Was there a point where you're like, cool, I need to make money now. I need to quit my day job and forget engineering, F engineering. I'm just going to do this full time now. Right?
Yeah, there was a moment for sure when honestly the number of orders became quite a good number where you need to really focus. We started getting approached by investors. It made us feel like, hey, okay, now we really need to focus. So I quit the job and I focused. We wanted to add more staff, and adding more staff is not easy because we're talking about non-skilled staff who have low communication capabilities. With all due respect, like when you are getting a delivery of a food, you're barely making contact with the rider. You're saying thank you, you're saying have a good day, drive safe. He's only saying the same things, but there isn't communication. With car guys or girls, there will be a lot of communication, and there will
Yeah.
be so many people that are asking for things. Do this, don't polish that, careful here, etc., etc. And many people are just sitting there watching, like, how is he washing a car with 500 to 700 ml of water only? And they usually are, especially the first time users, second time users, those people are still not really sure if this is the right way. Am I only getting them for convenience but scratching my car, for example? So
Right.
we really spent a lot of time sitting with our staff, and we call them ninjas because they're always training, they're very fast, they're responsive, they're committed, just like ninjas. They train all the time.
That's why.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought it was because of the bikes, because you got the Ninja motorbikes, right?
Oh, it wasn't a
That are
ninja.
usually. Oh, not
It
even.
was a
I thought that's why you
125.
called
Yeah,
them
yeah. No, no, no.
that.
They're ninjas because one time we were, like, I was really sitting with them. We were about 40 staff, and
Right.
uh, so I was like pumping them up. You should do this. Careful about that. You are missing this. You must do this. We're getting good feedback. We're getting bad feedback. Of course, like maybe we should come to that later. How involved your team should be while you're moving forward. They need to know what's happening. Uh, and one of the staff said, "Yes, we're like ninjas," and it immediately hit. We changed the design of the app for the sake of ninjas to mention their names, and
I
we made
love
a
that.
hierarchy for the ninjas. Like, you will be the ninja. I don't know. They have names with it for it. I forgot them right now. So
So you had a whole ninja hierarchy for them.
exactly, yeah, you need to pump them up. It's a
I love that. I love that.
it's not an easy job. Like, really, I drove the bikes. I drove one of the
Oh,
bikes
okay.
for a whole day. And man, every time you go back home, if you're a bike driver, you must thank God that you're still alive. The
Mm.
roads here are very crazy. everyone is in a hurry. Not many people consider bike drivers, to be honest, on the roads. Most of them really get irritated by them. So I felt like, because at some point I was telling them, you guys are late. Why is it was if I remember correctly, it was a Mirdif area. So we had zone number 3 is Mirdif, Khawanij, Mizhar, Mhaisna. In
Mm-hmm.
my head, you should be there in 10 minutes. So, and they were late. I had to ride the bike for almost 3-4 hours to really test how much time does it take to move from Haisna to Khawanij to Mizhar back to Mirdif. And I was really underinformed. Like, it
Mm.
was a great learning. Like, I stopped telling them you are late. I actually started
Yeah.
hiring more to that zone. So
So it's interesting because I think I mean, I'm sure with founders it's different as opposed to regular businesses, but you got to be able to know how every part of, to some degree, every part of your business, how it operates and what employees go through, right? Like
the
you
perfect
got to
scenario
test
is
that,
yes.
right? Like you got to
Yeah.
experience that for yourself to kind of give you some sort of perspective on what that feels like and why things happen the way they do.
It,
Like I didn't know it feels like that to be a driver, to ride a motorbike. Sorry. I don't drive motorbikes. So I'd even consider that. So it's interesting because as a founder, having to having to go through these experiences firsthand gives you a whole new sense of empathy to your staff and what they go through, you know?
it's the understanding.
Uh,
Once you understand how things
yeah.
work, you will give it the right
Yeah.
empathy, you will give it the right time, energy, you will give it everything, even resources. It depends on what you're trying to understand there. But definitely get involved
Mm,
in the beginning. Get involved in the major, I would say in every step, but maybe it applies to some industries, it doesn't apply to others. But getting involved and understanding what the staff is going through is what's going
yeah.
to make you really stand
Exactly.
out. Yeah.
Correct.
Even car
Leave
washing.
your
For car
glass corner
washing itself.
office.
Yeah. Sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying, yeah, like just yeah, leave your corner office, roll up your sleeves, and get in there with the team. Sorry,
Absolutely.
you're gonna say something about car washing specifically. Did you have to wash cars as well?
I washed, genuinely speaking, Omar, I washed over 250 cars in about three
Wow.
years, in the beginning, in the first 3 years. Whenever we are
Do you have a
understaffed,
memorable experience? Do you have
I have so many.
one of these moments that will be okay? Give us like a moment that will stay with you for the rest of your life that other people in this group can learn something from.
Whenever I'm asked something similar, there is one story that jumps straight to my head, which happened in Arabian ranches. So it's a gated community here in Dubai.
Yeah.
Um, and there's a client, a British client. I remember him very well. He ordered for his Land Cruiser. So we were really full. We couldn't make it on time. And in on demand services, arriving on time is an extremely, extremely important factor for what your customer is experiencing. So I was worried we were growing rapidly. That's why we were understaffed. So I went and I attended the wash. And it wasn't my first time to attend the wash, but this memorable experience, I attended the wash and I was washing the car. So, and they receive a notification, clients receive a task started, like your Ninja is there, task started. So maybe 10 or 15 minutes down the wash, uh, he comes out of his place and I see him standing there like he's somewhat confused. I'm wearing jeans, and yes, I'm wearing my Keno shirt, but it's not the usual driver shirt. And he says, "Yeah, how are you?" He starts a conversation, and I answer in perfect English. He requests certain thing, do this, please. For don't do that. And I'm talking to him, and I'm still washing the car. Yes, of course. And we're discussing it. So I was asking, how did you know about the app? Because it's important to understand, where did he know about the app? What's working? Is it digital? Is it word of mouth? Is
Smart.
it reference?
Good. A bit of research while you're at it.
Yeah, exactly. So how did you know about the Keno? Is
Yeah.
this your first time? I know all the details are there, but I'm just starting conversation. Is this your first time ordering? And he says, no. but it's the first time I saw you. Who are you? I said, my name is Ryan, because he's British. In Arabic, it's
Oh.
Rayyan. So my name is Ryan. And so what do you do? And I'm the founder of Keno. And he says, you're what? I said, I'm the founder. You're the founder? Yes. This is amazing. You're washing my car. Thank you. So I explained, because I want him to understand why I'm doing this. I explained we're overoccupied and we don't want to be late, especially for like our new customers. And I was in the area, so I'm washing your car. Yes, of course. And he says, please wait. He goes in. He gets his little son. I think he's about 8 or 9, and he tells him, of course, it's not between quotation, but he tells him, this guy is the owner of the company and he is washing a car. See, I still get the goosebumps, I swear. And
Yeah,
he's washing the
wow.
car. Do you need to be like, he was starting to give him advice about how you need to follow your dream, how anything, yeah, الشغل مش عيب. You can do whatever
Yeah.
you want if you believe in
There's
it.
no shame in work. That's
There's no
right.
shame in work, exactly. uh, and this was very, like, really heartwarming for me. Like, I made an impact on my client, I made an impact on my client's son as well, and I
Yeah.
think this will be a memorable experience even for the young man.
Oh, for
uh,
sure.
yeah, and this is one of the things that, like, I came back home, I went to my mother, mom, yo, today this happened to me.
Habibi.
And it was the hard days. It was where you are really
Yeah.
confused. Can we grow this business? Is it scalable? Is it not? Now we need to hire 8 people. That's another 80,000. So it
Yeah,
was
you
it, it,
think your
it
mind goes
pushed
to the
me.
numbers, but a
Yeah.
moment like that, wow, that is powerful, man. I'm lost for words. Like the goosebumps, you don't I think we tend to forget the impact we have on people by doing like little things every day, and
Absolutely.
especially something like that where not only you put yourself in your riders and your ninjas shoes, but you also you wear two hats at any given time. Yeah, I'm washing the car, but also, hey, let me talk to this guy, right? And you want to dig in, get a bit of market research, understand what they go through, and usually that's the best experience. Like um, the when I first started the Can show, before I started the business and the consultancies and everything, um, people used to tell me, "Oh, I love your show," da da da. And my follow up question every time was like, "Okay, what did you not like about it, or what did you hate about my show?" Right? And that was part of me trying to understand, trying to find some ways to get negative feedback out of people, because we have this thing of trying to be polite, right? Which I appreciate, but getting that negative feedback out of people is critical, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong necessarily, or I might have an idea, or I might have missed something that I wouldn't know unless you tell me. So you're getting immediate feedback, and that left such an impression on this guy that he called his son to present you as an example of what good hard work looks like, you know,
Yes.
of what a person that truly believes in what they're selling actually looks like is out there doing the work and not just sitting in their office, which is such a beautiful message.
Alhamdulillah.
And
Yeah.
alhamdulillah, man. I love
It
that. I
was
love that for you.
this was really one memorable experience.
Yeah.
And again, the fact that, let's ignore the fact that of the story, but when I started washing cars, I understood why a black car takes 47 minutes rather than a white car taking 35 minutes. I understood
Mm,
that different cars have different, rims. And whenever there are more stripes in the rims take an extra 10 minutes rather than different rims. You start going into details that would really allow you to build the best
mm,
employee experience and customer experience. Employee
correct.
experience is no way less important than your customer experience. Actually,
Yeah.
sometimes it's more important, because you might have a pool of 1,000 employees, but but the pool of clients is way bigger. So this is an extremely important asset that you really need to take care of, and give them time, and then let them understand
Mm,
what they're doing. So if you go through what they should go through every day, you will be able to set expectations right. And expectations is extremely important to be right, honestly.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. No, I definitely agree. Okay, and then after the couple of years now, you're working full time, things are going well. I mean, as well as a startup could be at that time, and you guys are
Yeah.
growing. Um, did you take investments? Did you not go for an investment round? What did you guys do?
We actually were um, within the second batch of 500 startups Silicon Valley. So
Mm,
they 500 initiated something called 500 Falcons, and this is dedicated for the GCC to invest in
mm.
startups in the GCC. And we were amongst the second batch, alongside with Just Life, alongside with Iowa,
Oh, okay.
alongside many really good apps um, that are still available till today, and probably raised a couple of $1 million. So we raised $150,000 from 500 startups, and that was with including an accelerator program, which we went through for 6 weeks. Of course, it was an amazing experience because I come from a background where, I mean, startups in this region is a totally new idea. It's not
Yeah.
new in the US, for example. They've been doing it for some time. But startups here, it's been a decade that people are really getting out of the employment kind of thinking, like, I need to find like, just like how parents say, you need to find a good job, you need to graduate and find a good job. This level of thinking that I need to do my own thing is not completely, like, it's new thing here, to be, in my humble opinion.
I think
um
especially when you're going into something that's a new and not a tried industry, right? Like,
yeah.
yes, it's car wash, but it's a different approach to car wash, right? Or tech, if we take tech in general, as opposed to, oh, I want to open up a school, or I want to open up a hospital, I want to open up an export import business. Yeah, we have those examples, they've been around, but I think tech is usually something, or was rather something that is out of the norm, that is unusual for people to get involved in, right? Whereas
Yeah,
now,
I really meant
obviously,
tech, to be very specific,
yeah,
for sure.
and then I
Yeah.
think after the rounds and after all these amazing tech startups and all these apps that have been coming into the market for quite a while, now it's the norm. I think it's interesting. I've been talking to we're doing some research with some young kids. It funny enough, a lot of them actually are leaning into, I want to set up a startup. You
It's a
know,
trend.
yeah, it's picking up, which is good because I think it gives us this power of, it gives them rather than us the power of looking into new industries and create fixing problems that we do not necessarily know exist, or improving on something in a way that they've been able to tackle, such as what you guys have done that we didn't know.
Yeah, we were a
So
tech enabled service provider, car wash
yeah,
service provider.
yeah. Okay,
uh,
and on the 500 startup, sorry, I'm gonna keep interrupting you, which I apologize. I tend to
go
do
ahead,
that
man.
when I get excited.
I'm happy to.
but uh but okay, because we got this great question from Dima, which I was actually thinking about. I had a different approach to it, but she was asking, what's your best advice for people to get accepted into 500 startups, and what is the thing that you think will get that what is the thing that got you accepted, basically? And I have a follow up to that, but let's go with Dima's first.
um to get into any investors scope or under their vision, is you need to prove your business model. We're not looking at profitability here, nothing at all. Profitability is not, or being cash flow positive is not something that really matters. It is proving that you're solving a problem, people are coming back. So your customer acquisition funnel is somewhat clear in that stage, and your customer retention is high.
Mm,
So customer retention says a lot. Like, yes, those people found something and they're doing it correctly. So I think this was really what got us there. Is we had very high retention numbers. We were talking about more like 91% back in the days. Of course, it
mm,
gets harder and harder and harder as you scale, and that's very normal. And always the team really plays a big role in the investor's decision making. Um, Regardless of all the data, there's a good chunk of the decision made on a personal level, how the investor
mm.
feels about the people he's in front. So
So it's
uh,
okay. So the idea, so to get accepted into such programs, it has nothing to do with how much money you're making, aka being cash positive. to
Nothing.
use the correct terminology, but rather it's about um, your product, customer acquisition, and then customer retention, repeat customers, right?
Yeah.
Is there a minimum that you need to have for repeat customers? I mean, in your case, 91% is amazing. I think that's hard to hit today as opposed to back in 2016, but or
Yes.
as more competitors obviously coming to your space. But
Exactly.
do you have an idea what was the minimum to make it make sense for an investor?
Honestly, I don't have like a digit or a figure to answer to your question, but
Mm,
I mean, if you have acquired in the MVP stage, let's say 1,000 clients, out of those 1,000 clients, for example, 500 signed up. Out of those 500 that signed up, uh, 400 used it for the first time, and then, for example, 380 used it second time, 370 used it third time. This flow is what they look at, because this
got
says a
it.
lot. This says a lot. This says, like, yes, they're doing something. Of course, and from a technical perspective, you can go to their website and apply to be amongst their next batch of startups. And
Mm.
if you need me to talk to anyone, I can also talk to people that are in 500
There you
startups.
go, Dima. You got the Rayyan Wasla. You're set. Uh, so cool. On that experience, what was there something that stuck with you after going through such an experience? Because
Many,
you
many,
know,
many things. Sorry if I
yeah, like
interrupted your
what are
question.
that's amazing. No, because that's what I want to get to. What are some of the lessons from that experience that founders should know, like that you can teach us, that you can kind of talk about right now?
Um, there are many things to talk about. For example, I remember the term shiny object.
Mm,
Don't let shiny objects distract you. So sometimes we have a clear vision or a mission that we want to go through, and we get something that is shining on the side. We divert and we start taking that. So shiny objects they need to be identified. Whenever I see something that my hunch is saying, oh, there is something here, after launching and after having something like you believe that it's working, shiny objects sometimes can be distracting. You need to really
mm.
evaluate if this thing that I'm feeling again is correct or not. um, I will try to improvise on it with an example. I don't have anything in my head right now, but I'm sure we'll come to it.
No,
uh,
yeah.
Go ahead, maybe you
I
can
was just
help
thinking
me
maybe like today
articulate.
could be like the new shiny objects, which if it's not the backbone of your business, don't necessarily have to have it. AI, like I feel like that's the shiny object today, right? If your business is not reliant on some sort of artificial intelligence development to act, and your business is around that, you don't have to have an AI integration necessarily just because it's the new hot cool thing, right?
I totally agree with your example. Of course, I'm sure we both understand that it's also industry related. So
Hmm.
not every industry must have AI, because
Yeah,
maybe you can build something. Maybe you can start teaching and teaching the AI about your business, but it's not necessarily there. And people are smart. If you put AI there and it doesn't make sense, you're gonna lose people. Like, people are
yeah,
smart. Don't think that you can oversmart everyone, and that keeps you on your toes. It's a good thing to always think that the client is somewhat smarter than me,
yeah.
because their
And
feedback is nice.
yeah. So then how do you differentiate between a shiny object or maybe like a new product or an improvement on your currently existing product, right?
That's a great question. You need to test. You need to experiment. There's like A/B testing. If and you need to have a goal when you are testing. So let's say I want to try this new. I want to add this new service. Let's say
Hmm.
VIP in terms of Keno, VIP shiny service, and I price it at double the price. Why? Because I heard someone saying, "Hey, why don't you add this service? If you add it, I will do it." I added that service. Uh, I'll give you a better example. I added a service that is engine cleaning. So we would pop the hood, and we will clean the engine. It was amazing. It gives amazing result. The before and after pictures are magnificent. But I had my staff burn their hands because people usually arrive to their location and start ordering. So I noticed that sometimes they're getting burnt. I noticed that whenever there's an order for engine cleaning, the ninja is staying there for 2 hours. The towels, more towels are getting dirty. He has to go back and refill new towels from the station, from our station. So it felt like, yes, we need to add engine cleaning because no one else is doing it, but it turned out not to be the best thing to do. So
Mm.
I hope this cleared out
Yeah,
my intention of mentioning this point.
got it.
And another thing that really resonates: always hire people that are smarter than you. Don't worry, you need people that are smarter than you, because you can't know it all and you can't cover it all.
Yeah. Yeah, from
Um,
personal experience, I totally agree. I mean, I'm a lateral thinker, so I'm not very linear with the
mhm.
way I work and the way I think about things. So some of the people I hired, they had to be very, very linear, and that had a lot more benefits than the way I like. Maybe I'm a little slower because I kind of go laterally, and I got to think of multiple scenarios, and I got to figure out how
Absolutely.
I'm going to restructure all this, etc. Whereas for them, they just see point A to point B so clearly. What will take me a few hours, they can do in 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that
Delegation,
that's
man.
always a
Delegation, delegation,
yo.
delegation. Every founder has a problem with it. Not every is a big thing, but we all, most of us have a problem with delegation. I still have a problem with delegation.
Hey, look, every founder, every parent, because it's your version of your baby, right? So it's hard to expect your spouse or your nanny or somebody do it the way you want it to be done.
Exactly. Exactly. But
And that makes it harder for you to delegate.
it's doable if you put systems
Yeah,
in place, and if you train,
yeah,
then you will be able to do it.
I love that. All right, cool. So Keno seems to be so you guys went through this experience with the investors. You guys got the investments. The
Yeah,
business started
by
to
the way,
grow.
we raised over 1 million. So this is one of the
Dollars?
investor. Yes,
Right
dollars.
on. Okay.
There's also DTech. There's always Talabat founders, the people who founded Talabat.
Hmm.
Uh, After selling to Rocket Internet for $171 million, they started their own funding activities, and they invested in us as well.
MashaAllah.
Yeah,
Congrats.
thank you so
Okay,
much.
so you get that money. What do you do with it?
Oh, this is
Like, do you
when
have an
we
idea?
were
How'd you
applying.
guys
Go
break it
ahead.
out? Yeah. Like, how did you structure your investments in terms of what is it going to go to do what within your business?
For us, it was mainly to increase capacity because we
Okay.
were growing. The word of mouth was good. For us, it was capacity, and we tried a little bit of digital marketing. Um, it worked, but it wasn't the best for us. Maybe our videos were not great. Maybe our copywriting was not. There are so many variables out there. But for me, for Rayyan's experience in Keno personally, so this could work for some founders. Others will need it most more than I do. Um, we mainly grew our capacity.
Hmm.
So it was hiring,
So the
a
focus was
little bit of
on,
branding. Yeah.
yeah.
For
Okay,
for
cool.
for a business such as ours, we are heavy on hiring. We need staff to increase orders. You're not buying products and listing them there and pushing ads to people that might like it. No, if I have 10 new clients, I need to have an extra staff.
Okay, so for every 10 new clients, you had to hire somebody.
Yeah, in order to
Okay,
maintain that, I would reach you in under 35 minutes, because the capacity of each ninja on a good day is 10.
okay. So, and then towards, I mean, I believe you eventually at some point left Keno, right?
Yeah, we
Okay,
broke up, unfortunately.
okay.
And there are so many learnings here. Just 1 minute, please. I need to connect the laptop to the piece, to the charger. I hope this doesn't change our settings.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like to tap into the learnings you got from leaving Keno and then briefly
Yeah.
talk about what you got going on next, just because I'm also keeping an eye on time. Otherwise, I can sit and talk to you for the 5 hours. Are you still there? I hope you didn't disconnect. Hey, Rand, can you hear me? Okay. I can't hear you. I don't know if it's your headsets and your camera went off. Oh, wait, there you go. Okay, I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to
Okay,
connect,
yeah.
but
So
I apologize, it's not working properly. So what you were asking again, please?
yeah, so just to manage time for everybody, we got about 6 minutes. So I wanted to talk about the learnings from you leaving Keno. How did that go about? And also wanted to touch into what are you currently working on today? Because I believe you're on a new journey and
Yeah.
something different. So
So with Keno, it didn't end up the right way, to be honest, and it was because of um, rookie mistakes, I would say, in
mm,
terms of legal structure. So I don't know, Middle Easterns love to say like it's a gentleman agreement. We are shy to ask for our rights. We are shy to say, hey man, let's make things official. We think that our friend would probably think negatively about us. What, you are doubting in me? So there are so
mm.
many social barriers that would
They're cultural nuances that
cultural. Yes, exactly.
make it difficult for you to for you to ask for your rights, what is
Yes.
legally yours,
This
right?
this was in
Yeah.
my case, and I advise
Mm,
everyone to ignore that and make sure they put their legal structure in place, especially if they're working with friends and family. Working with
mm.
friends and family is not as bad as what everyone says. I feel whoever pushes that idea just don't want us to come together and do something big. But if you structure it correctly, you would enjoy it because you would see your loved ones also doing well, and you are part of their journey.
I
It's very
agree.
fulfilling. So, but it's also very hard, and what makes it a little bit easier is getting the legal structure correctly in place. What he should do, what she should do, what you own, what he owns. For me, I did not really do that. Uh, for so many reasons, it's a long story, but I'm still like affected by not doing this thing, and I encourage everyone who is working, don't shy out. If you want to protect the relationship and the business, go for legal for us like a solid legal structure.
Yeah. Make sure you protect what's yours. Make sure it's clear what you're accountable for,
Yes.
and making. I completely agree because look, I am very pro. We're doing business with family and friends, but it's a
Nice.
characteristic differentiator. I'm for it because I'm the kind of guy. I'm very confrontational and I'm very clear, and I'm
Yeah.
always like, yo, let's get the ugliness out of the way so we can continue to do business well. So let's agree on the terms. This is the structure. Is everybody happy? And make sure everybody's actually happy with
Correct.
the agreements, then you progress accordingly, so
Correct.
I'm a big proponent for doing business with family and friends if you know how to do it correctly.
Yeah.
I think there's a and that's why people tend to say not to, because they don't know. Cool. All right, and what are you currently working on? What's the new venture? Where are you in your career and life? Just because we got a few minutes left on this one.
I'm still within the automotive scene. I still want to do something with automotive. We're doing unique interior
Mm,
works for supercars and luxury cars. Also wanting to go into yachts and private jets. So I want to do like to redesign your driving experience. Cars are, man, we love cars. Cars are just probably the second biggest investment you would ever do in your life besides buying a house. You
yeah.
spend a lot of time within your car. So I look at your car and I redesign it for you with the help of the team that is available, of course. I've
Yeah.
managed to have a good network of people who I used to wash and care for their supercars. So I'm now delivering a new service to them. Luckily, I have my wife, who is an amazing interior designer, and she is now leading this company, doing actual interior design for cars, yachts, and hopefully private jets soon. Maybe that I will
That's
announce it.
amazing,
Yeah.
man. Well,
And of course, we
congratulations.
use the best material, um, genuine leather, genuine or proper carbon fiber. Honestly, we are doing it the right way. Um,
Yeah.
and I think personalization and customization is something that, especially here in Dubai, it's thriving and it's growing in every
Yeah,
single
definitely.
industry. So we can
Yeah.
do that for you. But I still want to go back to the on-demand services. I'm still keen on monetizing on the data that I had and or the relations that we've built. I encourage, like,
It's a great
yeah,
asset.
yeah, yeah, it is.
I think that's a powerful asset generally for any founder. Like honestly, the best asset. I know they say your network is your net worth, and we hear that line, but I don't think we necessarily always understand or know what that means. And for me, this idea of your network is your net worth, it is about like the people you've met along the way. You know, the relationships that you've developed that you're currently nurturing or might have forgotten about. Like go back and get in touch with old friends that might be doing some interesting things and
Please do.
actually be active. Like they're those relationships honestly go a long way. Like you would not, you might not realize where some of the blessings that are out of your control come from. I think with business ownership and building any kind of business, for everybody that has experienced it, when you're down in the dumps and you feel like everything is wrong and you don't know what you're going to do, sometimes that you get that call or that text message, something that is totally out of your control, from an old friend, an old colleague, somebody that you've served, what have you, and they might have an answer to whatever it is that you're dealing with. And I think, and I don't know how, that's not something I could teach, that's not something you can teach people, but keep those bridges, right? Like keep those doors open, keep those relationships, because you truly never know when they really going to come in handy to
We
be
always
able to like
underestimate
actually
it.
bring out of that.
We always
Completely, we do.
underestimate it.
Yeah,
Sometimes we are lost. We're trying to find help, and it's hard to ask for help. But
yeah,
it's something that everyone should do. Ask for help.
I
Ask for
agree. I
advice.
love that.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
it's it's really something that would skip stress. Skip some stress. Skip some time while you're trying to figure it out. We don't need to figure out every single thing on our own. We could learn from other
definitely,
people's
definitely.
experiences.
Definitely. All right. Before we wrap, Ryan, my man, where can people find you? What's your username? Where can people connect? Obviously on the platform. Obviously they can
Obviously,
they
yeah.
can find you on Founder Connects. But if somebody wants to reach out to you, what is it? LinkedIn, social media, Instagram. What are we
I'll tell you
working on?
something. I really believe in Founders Connect. I really think it is an amazing platform. Besides the well done or well executed UI UX, to be honest, this having a community around you is your cushion. You don't need to, like, you really need to build a community around you in every single business.
There we
Build
go.
that community. Yeah, you don't really have to um, try to always acquire new people. No, that
I
community
love
that you
that.
have is your cushion. Anytime you could refer back to it. People are nicer than what we think. Sometimes we really worry to get in contact, but people are nice, man.
Yeah.
Um,
I love for that, man. Honestly, shout me and the let's we'll connect
I
with
did
you
not
guys
hear
there and
the.
let's make best. I was saying I was giving the guys a shout out and let's make the best use of the platform and everybody on it. And we'll see you guys on the next Big Stories session. Rayyan, Habibi, thank you so much for your time. I
Thank you
appreciate it.
so much. I think we
Take care,
could have
guys.
gone for many, many hours, more than this,
Definitely.
but I'm
Definitely.
happy to be I'm available anytime.
All
I
right, my
can
man.
learn. I'm still making mistakes. It'll always be that way.
I love it. Thank you for your time, my guy. And we'll see you guys on the next session. Peace.
Take care.